Movies and Martinis celebrates women and diversity in the entertainment world
by ranking trending movies, shows, and books
with two completely different perspectives and ranked by delicious martinis.
Listen to find out how many martinis we felt it was worth.
And learn about the women who have written, performed, and/or directed in everything we have rated.
A new episode is available every Thursday on your favorite podcast platform and YouTube. What's up, everyone? Welcome to our podcast. I'm Priya.
And I'm Mercy. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Priya, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
You got your martini? You got your martini?
Yes. Hello. Yes, I do. Fresh and brand new. No olives. Too early still.
Oh, I got olives.
my next one.
My olives are small though. They're small.
Oh, remember the ones we had with jalapeno pieces inside?
Oh my God.
From Aldi? That was good.
And cream cheese.
Oh, blue cheese.
Oh, was it blue cheese?
Blue cheese.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought it was cream cheese. It was good.
Yum. I know. Okay. We're enjoying our olives.
Yes, we're enjoying our olives because today we are talking about the movie animation Elemental.
Yes, we are. So before we go any further, if you haven't watched it, this is your time to pause, go watch it, and come right back to us so we can talk about the movie. However, if you don't want to watch it and you just want to hear what it was all about, then we are your girls and we're going to tell you what the movie was all about and how many martinis we give it. So, Priya, hit me with it. Tell us what it's about.
So, Elemental is an animation and it follows Ember and Wade in a city where fire, water, land, and air residents all live together. And Ember, so all the characters are based on an element.
Right.
And Ember's character is fire and Wade's character is water.
Yes. I love it. And her name is so perfect for fire, right?
I know. And so in the movie, they're all living in a city and they're all like moving around. Like, so there are elements that are like wood. There's air elements that look like clouds. And they all live together peacefully. But the fire elements are sort of like shunned. And they're actually staged as immigrants in this movie.
Yes.
Which is very, I thought it was brilliant for them to do that because I'm sure whoever's watching it, it made them think about what immigrants have to go through. If you're an immigrant like us, like you identified with the characters and what they experienced. So it was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that the whole plot of the movie and the setup was beautifully written and the animation was absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
I mean, the way that they have all of the rivers flowing and the bridges and the waterfalls and then the fire in between, every element had its true beauty showcased. So I thought it was brilliant. It was just beautifully made. It was definitely a movie to watch. Especially, I mean, it was great for adults, but if you have children, even more so because it has such a beautiful family story, right?
Like the whole time I was watching it, I thought, oh, this is not just a kids movie. Like adults would enjoy this.
It had a beautiful message. I agree. It had a beautiful message. I loved it. I want to say that it only got 88% likes, which is actually pretty good, and 74% Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, so that's really good. That's really good.
Yeah. For an animation, I thought it was great also. I feel that the movie makes you think, which is wonderful. It does make you think because it touches on a relationship with a father, relationship with a mother, as a family itself. When you date somebody outside of your element, per se, right?
Yeah.
That's what Wade is. He's a different element, so a different class, a different whatever you want to call it. So it kind of unifies this melting pot of diversity. So it was just a beautifully made movie, and to make it in a fiction like this was a beautiful way of getting the message across, especially to younger children. Although you and I know that a lot of older people should be watching this too.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. Because again, like people like us, I mean, we're not
Yeah.
old per se.
Hello.
We're young, we're very young.
Yes.
But I'm saying like people like us, because we're both immigrants again, like, and we
Yeah.
identify with it. So I feel like older generations would identify with it if they're first generation immigrants coming over to the United States or to another country. It doesn't have to be the US. And what they have to go through and the struggle within the family dynamic too, because there's so much pressure on the newer generations to live up to what their parents are expecting of them, you know. And I think, you know, tell me if I'm wrong. I think Amber's family was portrayed after Indian family, because
Absolutely.
it seemed with like the ceremonies and the spiciness of their food, of all the fire food,
the
and
curry food.
yeah, and
Yeah.
what they used to wear, what they were wearing, like it all reminded me of people from India, you know.
Absolutely.
So that was nice to see that.
Yeah. I love that. And then I think Wade's family kind of takes you more to your traditional American family, right? The white family.
Yeah.
Because of the way that I guess they're just so close, and that not so close, because regardless of where you come from, the family's, you know, typically very close.
Yeah.
But I think because of the setup that they have during that dinner, that they invite her for the first time, and the mannerism that they use, it just gives you that feeling that they're trying to act like a white American family in the, you know, in New York City.
The family dynamic is completely
Yeah.
different. The cultural dynamic is completely different.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to say, one of the things I loved was how they made the male character, Wade, so open and vulnerable, and he just cried over everything. And it was so beautiful to see a male character cry like that.
And it was
Embrace
perfect
him.
because he was water. So it was perfect, you know, and very in tune, which made me think of our Generation Z. I had to think about that for a second. Like how they approach emotions and mental health and all that stuff. It made me think about that generation and how in tune, and Generation Alpha, and how in tune those generations would be watching this movie.
Right. Yeah. What was your favorite part?
Okay, so again, a theme. My favorite theme in this movie, well, not exactly a part, but my favorite theme was the whole cultural dynamic, and again, identifying with Ember and her father, because there's a lot of pressure in Indian families to become a doctor, a lawyer, something high paying that they could.
That's already been predetermined for you.
Prestigious. In this case, Ember's father expects her to take over a business that he started like as he immigrated over. And his father didn't accept him when he was younger because he wanted to go out into the world and, you know, spread his wings and do something new and different for him and his family.
Right.
And in the process, he became so wrapped up with, oh, my daughter's going to take over my business. This is going to be a generational thing. But it wasn't. Like she wanted to do art and create glass, and
she was good at it. That was her gift.
But she was so ashamed to tell her father that because she didn't want to disappoint him, you know. And I feel I identify with that 100% because I've been there, done that. You know, I studied biology for a hot second because I thought I was going to do pre-med and become a doctor, and then I realized this is not for me, you know.
Right.
So yeah, that
we were meant to be in the moon.
Yes, one day.
Yes. Yeah. I think to your point and to everything you're saying, one of the key things to take away from that is the power of communication, because he felt that's what she wanted and she felt that's what he wanted. And it took Wade coming in to say, just tell him, he'll understand. Just talk to him. And it's that fear that we have of talking. A lot easier said than done. I know, especially from a Hispanic culture, that it's really hard to speak to men as opposed to expressing yourself to a woman.
Yes, yeah. It's really hard.
Um,
And I also feel like the circumstances like forced them to talk. It wasn't
Right.
even just Wade saying it over and over again. Like you have to learn through experiences
yes.
in order for things to change. So I think the experience forced them to talk. Yeah.
Yep. And it showed, it was a beautiful love story it's family, it's cultural, it's shows the power, of starting over and leaving what matters to you behind, because he had to leave his father, and that was heartbreaking for him because his father didn't say goodbye the way he wanted him to say goodbye.
Oh, and I
Which is
absolutely loved
beautiful.
the end. Okay, so what you're talking about there is a scene where he bows to his father as the ship
Yes.
leaves, and his father just completely rejects him and turns his back. But at the end of the movie, Ember bows to her father, and I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. Like it was such a moving scene. She bowed to her father, and he bowed back. He accepted it. He did what his father couldn't do for him, and it was just beautiful. It was simply.
I loved it. They were just the movie had so many different elements, right? Just to say, so many different things, like how in tune the mom was with feelings, also.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the mom didn't know the ins and outs of the business, but she knew.
She was a psychic or a medium.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, because she like read cards, I guess, or did something with chocolate. She did something, but she knew feelings. She had that instinct that just knew. So she knew when her daughter was in love before her daughter knew she was in love, which it was great. So it brings so many different little things in. So I loved it. Tell me how many martinis you'd give it, Priya.
Wait, we got to talk about the women that produced this film.
Well, who was predominantly cast. The cast was predominantly female, which is one of the reasons we chose it, and we love them. I need a drink. Cheers, Priya.
Okay, so I do want to say that even though like there was an Indian theme and Wade's character could have been presented as a white American family, the roles, the actors that played these roles are completely different from what you expect. So Ember is played by Leah Lewis. And she looks like she's mixed Asian. Yes. And Wade Ripple is played by Mamadou. And what's his full name? Mamadou Athey. And so all the characters are from different backgrounds, which is so beautiful that they did it that way. Ronnie Del Car played Bernie. Sheila Omi played Cinder. Yeah, kudos to them, to the producers and the directors for picking a cast like that.
Yeah, and so in talking about different cast members, right? I would say that Catherine O'Hara, who played, if I'm not mistaken, she's Wade's mom, because she's Brooke Ripple.
Yes.
So her character, every time she just goes on crying and crying and crying, was my favorite. I loved her character. She just cracked me up. She was so emotional, and she just shared it with the world. Like she just loved to cry. The whole family cried a lot, but
yeah, well, there was water.
And she was so, I loved it. She was like drip, 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 drip. So she was my favorite. But of course, I love Wendy also, Wendy McLean. So.
Yeah. So again, how many martinis would you give it, Mercy?
Oh, man, I'm really tempted to give it 5, but 5 is so strong that I think I'm going to give it 4 or 4.5.
Okay, I'm there with you.
It's not a 5, right? Like to me, I don't know. There's 5 ones out there. This wasn't it. Yeah, but it's worth a watch.
Absolutely, I'm right there. So I think I'll settle on a 4.
Yeah,
it was still beautiful. Still, had a strong story, great actors, but it wasn't a 5. So 4 more.
But it's worth a watch. Definitely watch it. It is definitely worth a watch. So cheers to you, Priya.
Well, thank you guys for listening and viewing. If you're watching on YouTube, I hope you like our little background setup we got going on. Make sure you like, share, follow, subscribe, all that great stuff. And We'll see you next episode.
Yeah. Also, don't forget to let us know how many martinis you've given. We'd love to hear if you'd given more or less than us.
Yes. Definitely let us know.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
All right. Till the next one. Bye, guys.